Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today is my 24th Q&A. So welcome back to the 24th episode of the video series where you guys ask me questions down in the comments below, and then I go ahead and answer some of those questions in the next video. So if you want to have your questions answered next time, be sure and leave those in the comment section of this video down below, and I will get to the best ones of those. Be sure and leave comments that are insightful and haven't been asked a million times before, like what are your mains, what are your PBs? I've answered those a million times, so leave good comments. What was the first CFOP algorithm you learned? So of course CFOP is a very popular method for 3x3. It's cross, F2L, OLL, PLL. It's pretty much exactly the 3x3 method that I use nowadays. And out of all those algorithms that I use to solve a 3x3, I'm pretty sure the first one will probably be this OLL, where you just do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. It was in the beginner's method that I learned. After that, with like PLLs and things like that, the first would probably be something like a T-perm. Which is your favorite cube? V-Cube 6, GAN Air UM, or Waylong GTS? Well, if I had to choose from one of those three, I mean, I really only have one choice because it's the only cube out of those three that I have. Definitely be the V-Cube 6. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. When do you think the world record will get down to sub 4? Who do you think will get it? Well, it's currently the middle of November when I'm filming this, and I think the 3x3 world record single will definitely be broken within the next week by some random Chinese guy that nobody has ever heard of. And it'll be like sub 3.5 or something crazy like that. Okay, yeah, of course I'm joking. It was actually just broken with a 3.47, which is just absolutely insane. Nobody could have ever expected that good of a time that soon. But you know, in cubing, everything is just kind of luck. If you get a good scramble and you have a good solution to it, then you can get a really good time, no matter who you are, as long as you're at a decent speed, which that person apparently was. So, yeah, that's just what happens. It gets taken away from people like Felix, just to some random person, and really fast time that's probably not going to be beat for quite a while. Speaking of that, would you rather have the 3x3 world record average or single? That's actually a pretty interesting question because, of course, if you get the world record single, everybody knows who you are and you're like really famous and everything. But if you get the world record average, then you're like the best cuber in the world, but nobody really knows about you. Honestly, I would probably say world record average just because it would be cooler to actually be the fastest person at 3x3. Obviously, it would still take some luck, but it would also take a lot more skill and really show people that you really are that good compared to just getting the one lucky single. Can you answer this question by rapping? No, unfortunately I cannot. How long did it take for you to get sub 20? It took this person 3 months. Now, it's not really fair to count since the very beginning of when I first started cubing, because I was using a really bad method back then, I wasn't really trying to get faster, and then I had a big break from cubing where I totally forgot everything. So if you instead start counting from the time when I got back into cubing and actually learned a reasonable beginner's method, is actually around the same time that I started this channel. It took me about 2 years to get down to sub 20. It's quite a lot longer than a lot of people because I don't really prioritize speed cubing, but I bet it's probably also a little bit shorter than other people. And also, how long did it take for you to get sub 15? It took me about another year and a half after getting sub 20, so about 3.5 years total. And then now another year and a half later, I'm still averaging about the same at around sub 15. So yeah, I don't really prioritize speed cubing, but if you guys want to get into speed cubing, trust me, you can improve a lot faster than I do. Okay, this is a question that everybody wants to know. Did you fix the cubes that you took apart in the last Q&A? And the answer is yes, I did. All the cubes that I took apart at the end of the last video, they're all assembled now. How long did it take you to clean everything up and reassemble the cubes? So the thing is, by the time I had that Q&A video uploaded to YouTube, all the cubes were already reassembled. It took me around an hour, maybe 2, to put them all back together. It was kind of hard because all the pieces were kind of mixed together, which I don't normally do. But putting cubes together doesn't really take me that long. I think it's a common misconception that if you take apart something crazy like an 8x8, then it's going to take like days and days to put back together. But no, it takes less than an hour. It's not really that hard. As long as you've practiced, you've done things like that before, and you know how to do it. Honestly, a lot of people were asking me to like make videos of reassembling it, but I had already reassembled everything by the time I saw those comments. And then finally, how many pieces have you lost from disassembling all your puzzles? I think this is kind of just asking in general from all the different puzzles that I've taken apart. I've pretty much taken apart every single puzzle that I own, but honestly, I can't really think of very many pieces that I've lost. The only thing I can really think of is when I was making a 6x6 barrel mod, I kind of had the puzzle disassembled for like many weeks just sitting there on the table, and I lost a couple of internal pieces, which I had to order some to make it work, but other than that, that's all I can really remember losing any pieces. Are you going to Worlds 2019 in Australia? Well, I would really love to go to some big competition like Worlds in some other country like Australia, but unfortunately I can't go this year. Maybe some next year's Worlds I'll go if it's somewhere in like Europe. That would be kind of fun to go to, but you know, maybe someday. Have you ever felt anything bigger than a 9x9? If so, where? I believe the biggest cube that I've ever personally like held in my hands and turned is a 13x13, but it was actually a 13x13 barrel. It was a mod that somebody brought to a couple different competitions that I've been to, and he let me try it out. It's actually really cool. It's just like so huge, but it's turned into a barrel shape. It's a really cool puzzle. What do you think is harder, 5x5 blindfolded or multi-blind with 4 cubes? So when it comes to multi-blind, all you really need to know is the basic 3x3 blind solving method, which is a whole lot simpler than learning how to solve a 5x5 blindfolded with all its crazy commutators and things like that. And when you actually compare how much you have to memorize between a 5x5 blindfolded and 4 3x3s, I believe the 3x3s might actually be a little bit less than the 5x5. So in both of those categories, the multi-blind definitely wins as being easier. But once you get up to maybe 5 or 6 cubes, it might start to become a little bit harder just based on the amount of stuff you have to memorize. Take apart a 1x1. Well, if you say so, all you really gotta do is peel back some of the stickers, get into the crack between the pieces, and bam, there you go. It comes right apart like that. As you can see, of course, I have magnetized the inside of my 1x1s. You gotta really have that extra stability and control while you're solving 1x1s. It just really helps. It's really necessary. But yeah, that's what the inside of a 1x1 looks like. Is the Haze 7M your new main for 7x7? This is a cube the Cubicle sent over to me pretty recently. It is actually a really good 7x7, and yeah, it'll definitely be my main. The magnets just make it amazing, and it's definitely better than the 7x7s that I have at the moment. How long does it take you to film a video? In terms of actually filming, the shorter ones usually take like 30 minutes to an hour. The longer ones can take multiple hours. This one's probably going to take around 2 hours to film the whole thing. But yeah, it takes a lot longer than you might think. How many WCA wins do you have? Now, I normally don't answer questions like this that you guys could find out for yourself by just going to the About page on my channel, clicking on my WCA profile, and then looking at the medal collection category. But I actually looked at it today and it was pretty interesting. It was 3 gold medals, 3 silver medals, and 3 bronze medals, and so I've gotten first, second, and third place each 3 times in mostly events like Pyraminx and Scube. I think I got third place in feet once, but yeah, that's how many wins I have. Go to the first question of your first Q&A and answer it now. So let's go ahead and pull up that video and see what the question is.
Unsub. What's the bad start?
Okay, I honestly did not remember putting that in the video, but that made me laugh quite a bit. Let's go ahead and see if there's another good question right after that.
Is your channel called Lego Boy Z3 or Lego Boy Z3? Well, I've actually heard people call it Lego Boys 3, which is completely wrong. It is Lego Boy Z3, all separate parts.
Oh yes, the classic Lego Boys 3 or Lego Boy Z3 question. The answer is, of course, Lego Boy Z3, because why would it be boys? That's just dumb. Is your channel name pronounced Z3 Cubing or Z3 Cubing? Well, it's Z3 Cubing, of course, because Z3 Cubing would sound dumb. So yeah, why wouldn't it be Z3 Cubing? Speaking of that, how long have you wanted to change your YouTube channel name? Ever since my channel started getting mildly popular, like in the thousands of subscribers, I kind of started to think about it, like especially getting rid of Lego at the very least. Once I got up to like 50,000, I thought it would definitely be a good idea, but I just never kind of acted on it, and so I eventually decided to do it right before hitting 100K. Can you solve a 4x4 blindfolded? No, I would really like to be able to. I actually did learn most of the algorithms at one point, but I'd have to go back and relearn a few of them. The biggest hurdle for me is really just being able to memorize all those different pieces on a 4x4 compared to just the 3x3. It's really a big step up, and I never really got around to actually trying that out. But I'll definitely try and learn someday and relearn those algorithms and see if I can do it. I'll definitely make a video once I get it happening. Which WCA event is unnecessary in your opinion? Now, I'm not really going to personally talk about this, but this is a good comment to bring up a recent discussion about 3x3 with feet. Basically, a lot of the top people of the WCA have basically said that they are going to remove 3x3 with feet as an event. This was pretty recently, like around a week ago. But from what I've seen, there's definitely been a lot of community backlash. The decision isn't quite final yet, but based on that, they might decide to undo that. But this very well could be the end of feet as an event. What does your chair look like? So you may have noticed there doesn't really seem to be much of a chair behind me, but if you've seen some of my older Q&A videos like this, in fact I showed a clip from it earlier in this video, you will know what my chair looks like. In fact, it is a Rubiks Cube. How do people get black faces on stickerless puzzles? So of course most stickerless puzzles by default just come with a white side, that's what most people prefer, but some people do like having black on there instead. So I believe some cube companies just sell cubes in multiple different options, with one of them having a black side. Some cubes, they come with just an extra set of pieces, like the Galaxy Megaminx I believe has a set of black pieces that you can install in there yourself. And I think some cube companies too have options where they'll actually take a stickerless cube and a black cube, and they'll take apart the pieces of the black cube and assemble it into a stickerless cube to make one side black. Do you think the MF3RS2, wait a minute. Is this person's name really Lego Boy Z3 with my old logo and everything? Oh my gosh. Anyway, do you think the MF3RS2M is still worth it, and is it still your main? It is still my main. There are definitely some newer, better speed cubes that have come out since this one, but it's personally the best one that I have still, and I'd say it's still worth it for how cheap it is. Am I the only one who gets better averages at competitions than at home? No, you're definitely not the only one. For me, it kind of just depends on the event, but in some events, I definitely do get better averages in competitions. Like in 3x3, a lot of the times I do better in competitions. It's really just a trade-off between being nervous and having like adrenaline from being in the competition and knowing that you want to do well. And it's kind of just like a balance. If you don't get nervous, then usually you'll do better at competitions. Do you now have the YouTube Silver Play button? So yeah, I did recently hit 100,000 subscribers, but unfortunately YouTube is really slow when it comes to things like this. I haven't even gotten an email or anything asking me where they want to send it once they eventually do make it. So as far as I know, they haven't even started. They haven't even thought of me yet. But eventually, someday, I guess I'll get it. And once I do get it, maybe I'll make a video about it. But until then, I guess we just have to wait. I dare you to like my comment. Okay, challenge accepted. And like. There you go. Is it difficult to disassemble a ghost cube? Now, no, it's not particularly difficult to disassemble. It's pretty much just like a 3x3. What is really difficult, though, is reassembling a ghost cube. It's pretty much just as hard as solving a ghost cube because you have to get all the pieces in the right spot. That's pretty much the challenge of solving it. Now, disassemble a ghost cube? Well, okay, you said so. I guess I have to do it now. So what we have to do is take out an edge piece, get the corners, and everything just kind of falls apart from here. And this is going to take forever to reassemble, but I guess I'm doing it anyway. So here we go. There's the core of the ghost cube. It's actually 3D printed, so the pieces look pretty cool. But yeah, there you go. So I guess we're gonna have to end this Q&A here because I have some more reassembling to do. Again, if there's any questions that you want me to answer in the next episode, be sure and leave those in the comments down below. And oh wait, we have one more comment. What's up with you falling over at the end of each video? I don't really know. It just kind of happens. I'll see you guys next time.